As you can see, I'm in the middle of the freeway. It's working! We're going home, boys! Woohoo! This thing is definitely not running right. I'm gonna have to pull over. Oh shit, we're hitting traffic. This thing's overheating. Hope I can make it. Hopefully the Integra can come back strong. What's up guys, welcome to the channel. If you're new to the channel, I'm glad you were able to find this video. If you've been here since the beginning. But regardless of that, I'm just gonna start off by saying, since the last time you guys saw the Integra, I spent multiple days going through the whole vehicle, just troubleshooting, trying to find what was wrong with the vehicle. I didn't want to believe that it was a blown head gasket. Wasted a bunch of time bleeding the cooling system. Then I finally decided to do a compression test. When I did the compression test, I ran a dry and wet test. After seeing the results, the compression was low throughout the whole engine. And then when I did the wet test, the compression significantly spiked up. So when the compression spikes up like that, that just indicates that the piston rings are worn out, which means that the engine is tired, it's high mileage, and it's gonna burn oil. One thing I did notice is that compression was low on two adjacent or two cylinders next to each other, and that just leads to believe that there's a blown head gasket. It could be a cracked cylinder head, it could be a cracked block, or it could just be the gasket itself. But either way, I could have just went ahead and replaced the head gasket or inspected it at least. But honestly, since I ran the compression test, it was just time to get a new engine. And also replacing the head gasket wasn't going to be as exciting as putting a new engine in a vehicle. So a fresher engine was definitely the way to go. So that's why I decided to get a new engine. And you guys are going to see what type of engine I got. Alright guys, so this is what the Integra is running like. Barely wants to turn on. I don't know if you guys can hear it, but it sounds like shit. RPMs go up and down like crazy. You guys feel that? It feels like it's cammed. My feet are right here and the RPMs are going like crazy. Look at it. Definitely a blown head gasket. I'm not even doing anything, look. I guess the 10 bottles of K-Seal didn't work. So now that we got the B20 from the JDM importer, it was time to begin the process. Ah shit. Here we go again. The cheapest and fastest route to get the Integra running would be by putting a B20 on it. B20 is gonna give us a little bit more torque, but it doesn't have as much on the high end. It's actually imported from Japan, so it has 40 to 50,000 miles on it. It's from a local importer that has a good reputation, so I ended up going with this. Even though we bought an engine hoist to facilitate this swap, it is not necessary to have one. I just want to clarify that this is not a how-to video. It's more of a recap to show you all the hard work that went into it, and also all the bonding that we have when we're swapping out this engine.
Right now I'm making sure all these bolts on the engine hoist are tight enough. But man, I was so happy playing Warzone. I didn't sign up for this. I just want to keep playing Warzone, god damn it.
We got Master Tech Nacho over here. You know, he always helps us with all the engine builds. So the first step to begin the heart transplant is to drain the cooling system, remove it from the vehicle. I may or may have not used a little bit of K-Seal on this old engine, so I have to go remove this radiator, flush it out as best as I can to make sure that none of the K-Seal junk goes into the new engine. And also to remove the whole wiring harness. Didn't think I was gonna remember where everything goes, but everything's pretty straightforward. This is where we're at right now. I removed the condenser, the radiator, the fans, and right now I'm just gonna delete the AC lines since we no longer have AC in this car. So if you come down here with me, follow me, I'll show you around and you will find an axle. So I think the reason for the axle being torn and everything is because the motor mounts are junk on this engine. So all the jerking and everything tore the inner boot of the drive shaft, and as you can see, there's grease and junk everywhere. And also because we have a power steering leak, as you can see right there. All right, so we've made pretty good progress. Everything that holds the engine and the transmission are done on this side. Everything came apart so easy. This is the good thing about Hondas. I'm not gonna be pulling it out right now because I have to go to work in like 30 minutes. Also, before being able to pull out the motor, all of the motor mounts had to be unbolted. Once the engine was being held by the hoist, the T-bracket on the rear had to be removed, the transmission had to be drained, and both of the axles had to come out. Yeah, I pretty much pulled up the engine, like struggled trying to get the engine and the transmission out together for like 2 hours, and it's not gonna work. It would just be faster to drop the transmission and take the engine out from the top. I gotta wait for Enrique so he can help me out with the transmission because I don't want to drop it and crack the concrete and shit. So it's all good. Integra's gonna be coming back strong. Stay tuned.
All right, so as you guys can see, we just got the tranny out. It was a very tedious process, but we got it out finally, and now we're gonna have the engine. Now we are taking the engine out.
It's coming out. Time to do the LS swap.
The 2JZ. Let's pull it back to daddy. Oh, chill, bro. Daddy, chill.
So now that the B18 is finally out of the Integra, this is the last time this engine is gonna hurt us.
So we got the old 1JZ out. We got a 2JC B-Tech.
Yeah, it's a little bit of chaos going on, but made a lot of progress in a single day. So from all the years of the vehicle leaking every single fluid possible, there was way too much cleaning to be done. It felt like I was a lube tech again working for Mossy. Nah, seriously, there was so much cleaning to be done. Oh no, it's a little bit dirty over here. Let's face it, you guys don't want to see me cleaning around an engine bay for 5 minutes. So now, it's time to rebuild the engine.
Meow. Big ass. What the That was not part of the plan, bro.
There was a lot of work to be done before this engine could be back in the car. A lot of the suspension and steering components have to be upgraded because, like Mr. Fujiwara said, a better engine isn't automatically going to make the car a better machine. So now that the engine was outside of the vehicle and had both engines side to side, it was time to begin the teardown and swapping all the parts from the B18 into the B20. So regardless of what all the forums say, the B18 to B20 swap is not as direct as everybody makes it sound to be. From what I read in the forums, it sounded like you can just grab a B20, remove the old B18 and just drop it right in. That's what they make you believe, but there's actually a little bit more to that. At the end of the day, you actually have to swap out a lot of parts from the B18 into the B20. Some of these parts, for example, the power steering pump, the intake is obviously going to be different on the B20. A lot of the brackets, the front motor mount, the crank pulley, the intake bracket that goes behind the engine is also different. Right now we're going to take off things out of the B18 that we're going to need for the B20.